got Smith. We got Ross Hawthorne. What's up, buddy?
Ross Hawthorne. I heard that name so long.
Yeah, Ross Hawthorne. What's up, Ross?
Shane Hawthorne.
I gotta say the whole thing. The DIC too.
You good?
We good?
Yo, it's your boy Jerk Jerkins right here, WBT 90.1 FM The Beat. And we have a special guest in the building, man, like we do every Saturday at 10. The big homie, Mr. Marcus Robinson, is in the building. What's going on, Mark?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Thank God for
Hey,
it.
man. Yo, absolutely, man. So, hey, man, you've been blessing us. You've been blessing us past week and this morning, man, with some incredible knowledge regarding financial literacy and just improving all of our situations. And I just love the fact of, the whole notion of us just it's kind of like, I kind of think of it as like working out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might have growing pains, or you might have things that you have to change. You know what I mean? And all growth is, new and different. But it's you feel good about it when you're done. We were just talking off air about tactics that I've just implemented myself from just listening to you talk. You know what I mean? So I just appreciate you for that. I kind of want to go into we were talking just now. And I kind of want to go into what was it? We were talking about the YOLO concept and how it's how it hurts us and just financial discipline and that sort of thing, man. Can you kind of go into how this is hurting us? You know what I mean? At least how it began and what we can do to fix it.
Well, YOLO simply is you only live once.
Right.
And so a lot of people take that to mean, hey, just kind of ball till you fall. Just go all out, live for today, not thinking about tomorrow. And truthfully, it's selfish.
Right. It is.
And when you talk about leaving a legacy, that's when a switch has to happen to where you stop becoming selfish and you become selfless.
Okay.
All right. And so YOLO is hurting a lot of people because they only living for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they do the emotional spending, the emotional shopping. Things that That's why I gave the example last week. Even if you riding around on 24s and you got the nice car, so on and so forth, but you ain't got life insurance, that's selfish.
That's crazy.
And it don't make sense. You might look good now,
right.
But what would that legacy be? What is your legacy? So it's just that shift of thinking, only about my life to hey, who I'm gonna be a blessing to.
Right.
And so
we gotta cut out the GoFundMe's when we
right. No, that's we don't do GoFundMe's. I'm boycotting GoFundMe's.
I love that. Man.
For life insurance purposes. Because when somebody died, they trying to do a GoFundMe or the family having to pass the hat around.
Right.
That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to leave legacy. We're thinking about the future. We're thinking about tomorrow. Tomorrow for a lot of us. It will come. And when tomorrow comes, what happens? What happens when tomorrow comes? So just changing that mindset of just YOLO.
That's real, man. Well, this is something that I think affects us all. And we were talking a little bit about, earlier we were talking about expanding capacities. And I watched one of your videos once and you were talking about, you explained a scenario of, just coming into some money, I think when you were talking about it was a pro athlete,
right?
Where they come into this new money and then they have people coming at them from all different angles. Man, talk about the power of saying no and how important that is, man.
Hey, listen, I need all the parents. I need anybody, because some people in their family, they're the person that was responsible enough to go to school and get the good job and so on and so forth. So when something happens, everybody go to that person.
Oh yeah.
Everybody put that pressure on that person. And so the power of saying no is so important. And I just want the listeners to understand that no is an okay word.
Right.
No don't mean you don't love your family.
Mm-hmm.
No don't mean you don't love your kids.
I love that.
But when you're working on something and you're setting goals and different priorities in your life that you trying to accomplish, bogus you trying to hit, you got to say no. Mm-hmm. You just got to say no. And so I gave the example of the pro athlete, NFL athlete, 2 years after retiring from the NFL is broke on average.
Right.
And you know, when you come into money, you're an NFL athlete, and you know you never had that money before.
You don't have a Marcus Robinson in your life.
Yeah, you know, a lot of them don't.
Yeah,
you know, so they try to
save you a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that whole concept of sow it, grow it before you blow it,
right.
they never thought about that.
We said that.
No, it's more so, hey, I got this money. How can I spend it?
Right.
How can I blow it? What am I gonna spend it on? And you know, I got to get mama out the hood. You know, I got to buy this car and do this. I'm thinking shift. You know, that's what I'm preaching. There got to be a shift there to where, hey, we ain't worried about, you know, blowing it. We worrying about how we grow it, and then that's what wealthy people do. When a Warren Buffett get money, all right, his whole mindset is, hey, how can I grow this?
Wow.
And when I grow it, all right, I will spend the interest on whatever I want. Right? And our mindset is not, we ain't worried about spending the interest. We're trying to spread out the principal.
My mindset is, what is interest? What is that?
What is interest?
Yeah, what is that?
Interest is free money.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Oh, man, say that.
Interest is free money.
Say that, man.
It's money. It's because you made a decision not to spend it.
Right.
You set it aside, all right? You didn't spend it up front, and you let interest work in your favor. A lot of us, when we think about interest, we think about interest on the credit card. And that interest is working against us.
Right.
All right, or interest on this loan, or interest on, you know, and our interest is always working against us. Well, if the shift happens, interest can work in your favor.
Wow.
And that's what we want to focus on. We want the interest to work in our favor.
You know, it's funny you say that. I was watching that one of those 30 for 30s. I think it was the one that was called Broke. I don't know if you saw that. And I think they mentioned it was like, they cited a statistic. I think the one that you just said, you know, about on average, a lot of NFL players are broke after 2 years. And they were saying that if they would just and put the money in the bank and just live off the interest, they'd be fine. You know what I mean?
And you can do it when you sign multi-million-dollar contracts, man. That's easy to do it.
Then. A little bit straight.
Right. Just living off the interest. It's the single mom that struggles with the concept, single dads, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
Well, one thing I do love the way that you teach is you use a lot of layman's terms. And,
I gotta break it down for the people.
Oh, I love it. And because when I asked you what is interest, you said free money. and I mean, who attention didn't you get there? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I love that.
I can articulate with the best of them. But you know,
I'm reaching the masses here, brother. I'm with you, bro. You the man on that.
Yeah,
So hey, all right, let's shift a little bit to another direction. I want to talk to you just mentioned you had 2 beautiful daughters that just had birthdays.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
birthday to them.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about these parents of these teenagers and who are trying to go to college.
Yeah.
We can talk about that a little bit. Just a little advice to them and tips, if you will, on college savings and that sort of thing.
College savings. I mean, if you have the capacity, you want to get some type of college savings plan, a 529 plan.
Okay.
All right. Or you can get an UGMA or UTMA, that's Uniform Gifts to Minus Acts, so on and so forth. Or Coverdale, you know, you get Florida Prepaid. I mean, it's just different things that you can do for your kids.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, everybody, generally speaking, wants their kid to go to college.
Right.
But the idea of how we're gonna pay for it, we ain't thinking about that right now because we're just trying to get them through school.
Right.
You know, we're just trying to get them through the K through 12 system, right? And so you got to think about tomorrow.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Financial.
you know, you got to think about what scholarship y'all need to be applying for right now. I don't care if they're in middle school. Let's start thinking about that. Let's start researching it. And it's being proactive. A lot of us are reactive. And I think if more people were more proactive, you know, life would be so much easier.
Right.
Because life gonna keep happening. It's not gonna stop. You know, the bill's not gonna stop coming. But how are you being disciplined and being proactive about your saving, being proactive about your spending? Because, you know, like my daughter, man, it seemed like yesterday, you know, she was 2.
Right.
You know, she turned 16. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, she's 16.
Right.
You know, driving and stuff. You know, it's like, what? I remember I used to hold her in
Right
my
around
hand.
the corner,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, oh man, I could go in on that.
Yeah, that's
but, you know,
crazy,
just being proactive and thinking about tomorrow.
Right.
That's the whole.
Okay, cool.
Being disciplined, and thinking about tomorrow.
Well, okay. Well, let's move on a little bit. I mentioned this already about things that I've been doing, you know, with my daughters, as far as making them spend half of the money they give them. I've been giving them just within this past week. But can you talk about just create that environment for our children? You know what I mean, with tactics like that and methods like that, and the importance of it. You know what I mean, of bringing our kids up and with this information that, like you said, a lot of us didn't get.
Well, I think a lot of us struggle as adults because we never got the financial literacy as a kid.
Right.
All right. You never knew that you needed to save half your money. You just was given money and you had the ability to go and spend it how you wanted to.
Right.
And so I always just talk about, hey, tell your kids about your experiences, good or bad, because there's a life lesson in all of it. And so when you've done well with money, so your kids know your financial situation.
Right.
On a certain level.
Right.
So they know when, it's the beginning of school, right? and the J's are, just came out because they always come out at the beginning of school, right? And so they know that, hey, when they go ask you for them J's, you're going to be like, no. But they see all the other kids with the J's, and it's like, okay, well, what about me, so to speak? All right? And those type of experiences help shape them.
Right.
All right? And so it can be a no, or it can be a conversation. It can be a conversation of, hey, this is what we're working on. This is why you can't have these Jordans, but you can have these Adidas or these Converses.
Okay.
Because, hey, mommy and daddy working on ABC. And it's having just those little conversations and helping them to understand that this is the why behind the no.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like
that makes so much sense.
Because it's... well, in our community, you just get told no and go sit down.
Yeah.
All right, go sit down, boy. I told you no, go sit down. But there's no why. There's no explanation. What is the reasoning? What? And so that's a shift in that kid's mind when they get understanding. Because in all you're getting, you need to get understanding. So help your kids understand.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Right. And I mean, I think that lesson that they're learning is a whole lot easier to get through than some of the issues they'll have as adults if they didn't learn those lessons as a kid.
Right.
So I guess what I'm saying is, I mean, right now to that, because I've been there, wanting certain shoes and that sort of thing. Of course, that's a very temporary pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're not shaping those practices down the road, I mean, you lose your house. That's a whole different thing.
Listen, sometimes you just need to take your kids to work with you so they can just see what you do.
Wow.
Like, okay, this is what mommy does. This is what daddy does to make a paycheck.
Right.
And so they can see your grind. They can see, okay, well, now, if I make $10 an hour, and these Jordans $250, right?
Sheesh.
I gotta work more than 25 hours simply because of taxes going up, right? So this is a whole week's of work for me to buy you these Jordans. Like you need to appreciate the sacrifices I'm making for you.
Wow.
And you got to instill that in, man, listen, my kids, they know. Look, they understand the hustle and the grind and the hard work and why daddy got to go to work on Saturdays, every other Saturday. We have appointments. And, so you just got to help them understand and appreciate. So now when they come and ask you for something, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand. They think about it.
Right.
It's not just a selfish act. They actually using that brain of theirs.
I love that, man. Wait,
yes,
man.
Sir.
We're gonna take another break, man.
Okay.
To a few songs, man. Again, I just appreciate you coming through, man.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to man. Keep it locked right here, WBT. That is from the beat. It's your boy Jerk Jenkins right here on Make Black Dollars Great Again, man. Marcus Robinson, don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, big
Take your kids to work.
Hey, I love that, bro.
Help them to understand your struggle. Help them to understand your sacrifice. Help them to understand the problems, the debt, the so on and so forth that you went through. There's so much I want to say about that, huh?
They need to understand the academic sacrifice too, because not everybody makes.
Yeah, they need to understand why they got to get good grades.
Right.
And the hustle behind that. Yeah, that's why you going to school to be in a class clown. So,
you're absolutely right, man. Well, no, what I was trying to say, what I was really trying to say, like, I mean, them not having them shoes right now is a lot easier to get over, you know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
Not having them, that foundation, and then later on, you lose your car, you lose your house.
Yeah, they're important, right.
You lose your whole paycheck, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
I think those financial meetings, man, having a family financial meeting.
Wow.
Where you kind of sit down, I don't care if it's once a quarter, once every 3 months, or once a month. You know, it's like a budget of your house. Like the state of affairs, what's important to you, what goals y'all trying to hit. And when you let your kids know, hey, we're working on buying a new house. So you can have your own room. All right, this is why we're making this financial sacrifice. This is why we can't go to Disney and do some of this other stuff. So you just got to explain the why behind, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. And they might not understand it at first, but as they get older and older, they'll start understanding, okay, yeah, that's why we couldn't do that. Or this is why, you know, this is happening, so on and so forth. So you just got to explain the why, bro.
No, I love that, man. I really do, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll work. Oh, so this break right here gonna be a little longer. This one will be about close to 10 minutes.
Oh, 10-minute break?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up. We'll use the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
We'll take it from there. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
I do got bit.ly/mymoneyquestions. bit.ly/mymoneyquestions.
Read that. Let me get that. What
Yeah,
is it?
it's bit.ly/mymoneyquestions. So they can go on that link to ask the questions. They can go to the the Facebook page, Robinson Financial, the Facebook page. They got RFG Blueprint. Man, we got multiple ways to go.
I'm gonna make sure we do that on the air.
Okay.
All
right.
Shout out the Facebook page,
the
the
Instagram,
questions
so on and so
page,
forth.
everything. Make sure people can reach you.
Corey Durden, how you doing, sir? Shout out to Florida State. I don't never shout out Florida State. You the only one I cheer for with them. I'm a rattler and a gator.
Reptile, boy.
You're amazed. What's up,